about a topic that many Kenyans right now want you to speak candidly about. And these are some of the policies and decisions taken by the Kenya Kwanza regime in the past 2 years. You are on record before you left office in an interview with Citizen TV and in an interview with vernacular Kalenjin station stating that you knew nothing about Kenya's deal with Adani Group, be it JKIA and every other involved entity. You are on record after you were impeached in a chat at AIPCA to say that you advised President William Ruto not to get into the Adani deal. One Gachagua who said, I was not aware, I was reading about this in the papers. The next Gachagua says, I advised the president.
I think you have listened to my address to the Kalenjin nation in piecemeal. If you listened to the whole speech, I said I know nothing about it in terms of I was not involved in the formulation of that policy. I was not involved in its implementation. That is why I meant I know nothing about it. Because if you are not, I was in government, I was deputy president, but I was not involved in the Adani deal to that extent. I went ahead to say, but Kenyans are opposed to it. Kenyans are speaking against it, and therefore I am against it. At that time, because I was in office, there is what you call the principle of collective responsibility. I was still the deputy president to President William Ruto. So there are certain things then I could not say, because I was still his deputy. There is still that, relationship. But later on, I have now the opportunity to say what I need to say. I have many things I can say now, but that time I was giving what I needed to give. And I said I was clearly, that matter did not come before the cabinet committee that I chair. It went straight to cabinet.
Were you in cabinet when it came to cabinet?
Yes, I was.
What discussions were there about Adani?
I cannot give discussions in cabinet because I'm still bound by the Official Secrets Act. I wouldn't diverge in detail as to what happened in cabinet because that would be irresponsible on my part. But what I can say is that I was opposed to it. And at my own time, privately, I was able to sit with the president and say this is not right. It's a rip-off to the people of Kenya. It is not tenable. And also, because I was elected, in our administration, I was the lone voice that would tell the president what anybody else cannot tell him. Because as an elected leader, you interact with the people. I also have serious political networks that are independent from the president that talk to me daily so that I get to know what is going on. And as principal assistant to the president and as his advisor, I took it upon myself, and it's a job I did that cost me heavily to always tell him the truth.
Excellency, allow me to interject because you have said that yes, you sat in cabinet and you cannot divulge issues discussed in cabinet. This is a matter in public. This is a matter already addressed by the head of state when he announced that cancellation at the National Assembly and the Senate when he made his State of the Nation address. You certainly owe it to the people of Kenya to tell them that this is what the country was getting into in Adani. Who was tasked to do what in cabinet, and how exactly was this deal reached? When was it signed? Those are the questions that Kenyans who are watching today want to understand.
I've told you clearly that nobody involved me. Had it come to the cabinet committee that I chair, I would have had all the details because that is a very exhaustive forum that I used to chair. I will be able to get to know from the beginning to the end. But cabinet is basically formality. And certain things, president will decide they come direct to cabinet without coming to the cabinet committee.
So are you saying, because you gave us a track record of how many cabinet subcommittees you chaired while in office. This was at a time when some quarters were saying you did not perform as deputy president. Are you saying that in the many committees you hosted or you chaired of the cabinet, this did not come out?
Adani did not come.
Did the Social Health Authority come out?
Yes, it did.
In the subcommittees?
Yes, it did.
What was your position on it?
My position then, as it is today, is one, it was hurried. And there was no sufficient reason to move hastily from NHIF to the new program. And from my own reasoning, when I even looked at the mathematics, surrounding that program, is that it would have cost us between 700 to 800 million to upgrade the system that was running the NHIF to make it compliant. Yet we are moving to a new program that is costing 104 billion shillings. And in my